Hi, I'm Emily, the Creative Director for Heartfelt Creations. Today I'm bringing you the Floral Key Collection. We're doing some great techniques, stamping the image once and cutting out 16 keys with one lineup and one stamp. It's awesome. So once you've stamped the image, I show you a couple coloring techniques that you're going to be able to utilize. They're simple and easy to do. So join me and we'll have a lot of fun learning some new techniques together. When using the stamp and the die, you'll want to make sure that you make a template to make sure that it lines up properly. So this is the stamp that you're going to be using. It stamps as one complete background, and then you have the die. This is all connected, so when you line it up, you can cut all of these keys with one pass of the die. So to begin with, if you would just lay this on top of this stamped piece, you'd be guessing where this is going to cut out. So I made a template so I could see exactly where this is going to cut my stamped image. To make the template is very simple and easy. What you'll want to do is, let's pretend this is just a plain piece of cardstock. Take your die and tape your die to the cardstock, okay? And when you've done that, you'll run that through your machine and that will cut out the piece that you see in here. Now because you put that tape on this end, that makes that this is like a hinge, so when you open this up, it won't move from your cut line. So what you'll want to do at this point is, after you've made the template, this is secured, you're going to bring this down onto this stamped image and you can see exactly where this is going to cut out. Once everything's lined up, flop that die right back down and press the tape down on each end. And then I'll just finish letting that lay down. So this is secured and you can run that right through your machine and it will cut out all of those keys. Now, if I like to cut out all of them at once, but say you'd really just want to use one of them, what you can do is stamp one of the images from the main images, and you can lift this up. Let's just flip this around. And you can line this up and you can cut out just one of those keys if you want to do this. I rarely do this, but sometimes when I'm doing a lot of one project, I might want to just want this one key. So you'll line that up, and like the previous one, you'll just flop that down, press the tape down on either end. With this one, you don't have to have this big a piece of paper, but you just want to make sure that your paper is large enough that you have something to attach on this end. So once you've made your template, you're ready to line up a lot of different stamped images with your lock and key die. You can stamp the keys many different ways. I like to stamp them on a cream cardstock with brown ink, or this key I did a copper embossing powder, or you can do it really girly and do a vellum with like a pink if you wanted to. So there's a lot of different looks you achieve just by the paper or embossing powder that you use. So what you're going to do first is, I'll show you how to do a sponge inking on this key. This is a really quick coloring technique. I'm using a green chalk ink and just going right around the edges. That adds some color, and you don't have to spend much time with this. Once you've added one color, I like to do kind of a two-tone color on this, so you can just go back and just add a little bit of that red in there, and you have that key colored. Now, if you're like me, I'd always add a little bit of glitter to that too. So that's a quick coloring option. But I have a new technique that I absolutely love. You can see kind of the practice shot that I did. This is my first time using it here. But this is a stamp paint. It shimmers, it dries very quickly, and then I'm using a Tombow blender pen. Basically, all you have to do is dip the blender pen into your jar, and then I like to test it out to see how much stamp paint I have. So you can see how I blend that out. It goes from dark to light. So what you'll do is just dip back into the paint, and you can kind of see, I like to hit the areas that need a little bit of dark first. So you'll see how that looks, and then we'll just fade that out. Now if I want to go back and add a little bit more of the dark in there, so we'll go back, just hit some of those areas. The designer of these stamps, she adds some great shading, so it's easy to see where to add those dark highlights. This is a nice way to add some shimmer and some shading, but you don't have to be a skilled coloring with markers. And it's fairly quickly, and you can learn this pretty easily, but I do like to just practice a little bit, play around with a little bit till you kind of see how you like to apply it. So you'll just continue adding those colors from light to dark. If you have too much, you just always go off on the side, just brush it off, and you can go back into your image. So you'll continue coloring that, and that's how we got the effect on this card. You'll see the key is layered right on top of that main image, so there's a light shimmer. Using the stamp paint, the color I use on this is the rose. We also have a red that would look really good with that. So this is a new coloring technique that you're going to be able to try out. It has the shimmer, dries fast, so it's perfect with the blender pen. With the Floral Key Collection, we're releasing a Clasp Kit that's only available for a month after the video has released. And in this kit, you get all the pieces to complete 5 different card samples. It's amazing because you can put it together. It's kind of like having a class in your own home. Or the technique that I just featured with the sponging you'll be using on this, but this is the first card that you'll be using or getting in the kit. So that's the card number 1. And then you'll also be getting this card. So you'll do some flower shaping techniques. You'll get to utilize the sponging technique, and you'll be using the glitters. You'll be using some distressing techniques around this word and around the edges. So this is available for a month, so you'll want to make sure you get yours while it's available. So it's kind of like taking a class in the comforts of your home, but it'll have all the pieces that you need to put it together with the exception of the ink color. So if you like the ink I used today, you could use that, or you could substitute it with something that you already have. And then this is the 5th card that's in that kit. So once again, all the pieces are cut. They're pre-stamped for you, and what you'll need to do is put it together so it's part of the I Want It All, or you can purchase the kits separately, so that option is totally up to you. But I love it because you can make some quick cards, and they utilize one of the card panels that comes from the Floral Key paper collection. These are the stamps from the Floral Key Collection. This is a floral doorway. I love this one in the pink and the gold and white. We cut this out and then added the locket to that one. And then we have the 3571. This one has a lot of options, but this was more of a neutral color tone. 3572 is our Floral Keys and Locket set. Here we kind of use it as an envelope flap, and here we shape the key with a stylus and the mat, which I really love that option. And then just adding it with the papers was a perfect combination. And here's one of the cards that you'll see in your class kit, but it was using this image, and just cut that out and put that on top of a paper card front. This one is the heart. One of the things I really like about this one is it fits perfectly into our Timeless and More heart die. This one's called Journey of Love, and it has some keys, the heart, and then a saying with this one. Then we added our vintage flat rose to that as well. It gives it some nice dimension. Then we also have our background stamp used on this card as well. That one makes a nice background that you can 3D the keys or just use it as a background stamp. And then we also have this one. This one we use the neutral color tones with these sayings in the background, along with some keys and some of the vintage floret roses on the side. This is the Floral Key paper collection. You've got 24 double-sided paper sheets. There's 2 sheets of each design, and you have these card fronts that you can cut apart. You can use them to attach photos. You can use them as card fronts. They make your cards super fast and easy. There will be a total of 42 card fronts, and then you have some paper layouts in 6x6 pieces. So let's see what's inside. We'll start out with the card fronts. Now we call these card fronts, but you could also use these as for photos and things like that. The backs of our papers are all neutral, so if you don't really like the front, you can always flip it around and use the back side. This is the back one of this one. And then we have, this is the 4x6 card panel sizes. So as you can see, you can add the keys and lockets to the top. This is the back of that one. And then this is the one I was showing earlier. You can see all the card samples we did with that. This is the background. This is a little bit different. I love this concept. You can put a photo on this side. It's kind of pre-done for you. And then on the back, there's another option that you can add photos. These, you get 2 in a pack, so you can make a double page layout with that. We also have our 6x6 pieces that you can cut apart, use for cards or your layouts. And then this is the background. So the 6x6 pieces are a smaller version of some of the larger sizes. They work very nicely together with your cards, or I like to use them as mats for my photos. the background on that one. And then this is the piece that you can cut apart. I love these tickets. They fit well with your scrapbooking or your card making. And these are the 2x3 and the journaling squares. It's a border background. And then these are kind of more the neutral 12x12 papers in this collection. Here's another card panel sheet. And then we have this one. It's another card panel. And we have this, last but not least, a very neutral with a neutral background as well. So this wraps up the Floral Key paper. So you have so many options with this one. When you use these techniques with the coloring, the one pass die, and using the card fronts, you're going to be able to make those simple yet elegant cards for your friends and family. I would love to see what you make with them. You can share them on our Facebook page. You can email them. If you need more inspiration, you can visit our gallery at heartfeltcreations.us. If you have a specific item that you're trying to find, you can also type the item number of the product into the search box, and that'll bring up specific samples for what you're looking for. Have fun utilizing these techniques in your craft room. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time.